CNT125, Chapter 12, we are looking at a chapter on performance and recovery. So how do we tune our network? How do we detect problems and try to recover from problems? Will be our focus for this chapter. First thing they mention is the term network management. Network management is assessment, monitoring, and maintenance of all aspects of a network. So once a network's up and running, what are we doing to monitor it, maintain it, and recover from problems? How do we know there's problems? How do we recover from problems? So this can include a whole bunch of things. Controlling user access to resources, your accounts and so forth, checking for hardware faults, being aware of when those occur and recovering from, ensuring optimized quality of service. So if you have a mixture of voice and video traffic or critical data traffic, making sure that gets priority versus somebody watching a YouTube video while they're eating lunch. How are we able to make sure the really important data is moving through first? Maintaining records of assets. Yep, you need to maintain records of all your resources as well as any of your device configurations, software configurations, application configurations, and even data backups from that too. Determining what time of day is best for upgrading. Yes, in your network, when is the best time to do updates? What is the best time to back up things? What is the best time if you need to bring a device down, update it, and bring it back online? When is the best time to do that? And that's going to vary by place you work. That is going to vary by place you work. You know, places like schools, it's pretty obvious if you were to do that on a Saturday or Sunday, it shouldn't affect too much. But on a hospital, that might affect a lot. So you need to figure out when is the time to do those things. The network management, the scope is going to differ according to the size and importance of, as we just said. Something like a school is pretty big, might cover a lot of students. A hospital might be even larger, a lot more customer data. And again, the importance of the data is going to be different at those sites. So which one takes priority, which one is really critical. And there might actually be some different management disciplines used in those facilities. Which one are you going to monitor more? Which one takes more priority or preference? All of these are going to share the same goal, though. Trying to enhance efficiency and performance, trying to keep the network performing as best as possible for users, for customers, for your employees. Preventing costly downtimes and loss of data for that matter, but preventing costly downtimes that bring the network offline and basically bring things to a screeching halt. And trying to predict problems before they even occur. Trying to be the whole, preventative maintenance. Am I able to detect that there's a problem here and try to circumvent that before it becomes a bigger problem? That's all in the name of network management. One of the first things they mention is environmental monitoring. This is one of those things that once you think about it, it's really important, but until you do it, you may not realize it is that important. It's essential to monitor the following environmental factors. They give a whole list here, and there is actually equipment to do so. There's sensors, and there's actually equipment and applications. There's even companies that allocate equipment to monitor all of these things that they mention. So back here real quickly. Your device, rack, or room temperature. If your room temperature is too high, your devices might start aging quickly and or failing. I think back to once upon a time, lab room we taught in with the old CRT monitors. The room temperature was too hot and the monitors wouldn't even turn on. Not to mention, CPUs overheating, that sort of thing. Room humidity, dew point, those sorts of things. If the humidity is too high, things are going to rust and maybe even short out. Okay, if it's too low, you're going to have too much static electricity. Flooding as sensed by liquid detectors, any leaks in there, flooding a room. Smoke or fire, obviously, for any kind of problems, things catching on fire. Airflow, do we have ventilation? Is the ventilation system failing or shutting off? Because then your room is going to start to overheat. So monitoring airflow through your room as well. Vibration, too much vibration, especially if you think about things like hard drives and so forth, might cause systems to fail or start having data issues. Motion. If people are in and out of your closet, sensing motion, maybe the motion kicks on a camera to record who is in the closet. Room lights on or off. Again, sensors to turn the lights on. If somebody does come in, the lights kick on and your cameras turn on. So you're recording who's in and out of the room. Room or rack doors open or closed. Power. power in a room, and it goes with a whole bunch of things: the main power, UPS power, battery levels, even power consumption for your devices. All of these types of things should be monitored, and again, depends on facility. Some of these might take more priority than other things. And again, there is a whole bunch of sensors to do so. There's applications that can be used. There's even companies set aside that develop equipment for this or have equipment for doing all of this. Traffic monitoring tools. Network Monitor and Protocol Analyzer. Network Monitor is a tool that continually monitors network traffic, and it's really there to monitor the traffic. Meanwhile, your Protocol Analyzer is a tool that can monitor traffic at a specific interface on, like, your computer or your server. What kind of protocol traffic is moving in and out of there? A network monitor can monitor traffic that a single device encounters. However, a protocol analyzer can monitor traffic patterns throughout a particular network. Excuse me. So your network monitor, something like a Spiceworks, can monitor traffic on a whole segment, because you're going to have it usually kind of in line with. You'll have some sort of device in line that's copying the traffic over, so it would be able to monitor all the traffic moving in and out a whole section of a network. Maybe the whole section of a think about Harrisburg, or think about Hack. Maybe traffic moving in and out of the Harrisburg campus, or maybe traffic moving in and out of a specific building that you're monitoring. Meanwhile, your protocol analyzer is going to display traffic in and out of a single interface. So here we have a protocol analyzer, just like we run in our lab room Wireshark, moving in and out of this particular switch port. Now you could mirror these switch ports and have a whole bunch of traffic copied to the Wireshark, to your protocol analyzer, looking for protocol trends or data trends, if you will. You could do that. You could do that as well. Wireless monitoring, having a laptop that is monitoring wireless traffic, and you might even need to set it to promiscuous mode, that the NIC is going to display all the traffic it senses, not just traffic for itself. That's what the promiscuous mode setting on your network card means. Copy all the frames, anything it encounters, not just stuff for it. And as we mentioned a little bit ago, you might even do port mirroring on a device, so you can share all the traffic to a monitor or a protocol analyzer. And think back to when we did the voice over IP lab, we did this configuration on the switch so we could see all the phone call traffic. That can be a legit admin configuration to see traffic coming in and out of certain ports. And that can be changed. You can monitor certain ports for a period of time or monitor other ports for a period of time. Could even be monitoring the trunk port, that sort of thing. Inline monitoring, I might actually put a tap in here, a device that's literally going to copy all the traffic over to your network monitor or protocol analyzer that you want to see, all the traffic you want to see coming in and out of a network. And most of these applications can be configured to report traffic statistics to your network monitor. Some of your devices in your network can be configured to report traffic statistics too, so you can start building a bigger trend. Pretty much all your network monitoring tools can perform the following functions. Setting a NIC to promiscuous mode, so it copies all the traffic, just not traffic for that node, anything on that branch, if you will. Continues to monitor traffic on a segment. Yep. Capture network data transmitted on a segment. Yep. Capture frames sent to or from a specific node. You can filter out and just do to and from a specific node. Reproduce network conditions by transmitting a selected amount and type of data, and generate statistics about network activity. So actually compile and generate how many frames have moved in and out, how many error frames, and that sort of thing. Some network monitoring tools can also perform the following. Discover all the nodes on a segment, which could be useful for assessment, trying to figure out accounting, if you will, how many nodes and what operating system, that sort of thing. Establish a baseline so you know what's normal on a particular day or time or week. Track utilization, how much is being utilized, how much of the bandwidth is being utilized. Store traffic and generate reports. Yes, store the traffic data and then actually generate a report of, like, we're running at this percentage utilization at this time of day, this day of the week, this day of the month, that sort of thing. Can be even configured to trigger alarms when a certain condition is met. When we start getting above a certain percentage, or we start getting a certain number of error rates, or so forth. Identify usage anomalies. What is somebody that might be the top communicator in the network? Maybe that is our server. Okay, great. Maybe it's another node, and that node is either broken or doing something different that is out of the ordinary. We might need to check on. Monitoring tools can help identify certain types of packets, and certain types of packets can indicate certain types of problems. Runts are packets that are smaller than the minimum for Ethernet. Giants are larger than the maximum for Ethernet. Jabber is when a device that handles electrical signal improperly. Device is always retransmitting, if you will. Bad nick, or we're getting electrical interference. This can be a sign of those particular things. Ghosts are frames that are not actually frames caused by device misinterpreting stray voltage in the wire. So if you have some stray voltage from noise or something like that, that could be some ghost frames. Packet loss. Packets lost due to unknown protocol, unrecognized port, network noise. Never actually arrives at the destination. So if I'm getting a lot of packet loss, I might need to start looking at maybe some port misconfigurations or other noise in my network. Discarded packets. Packets that arrive at the destination but are discarded due to buffer overflow, latency, bottlenecks, congestion. So if I start getting a lot of discarded packets, maybe I have a congested part of my network that it's moving through. Interface resets, repeated resets of the connection. Maybe the interface is not configured right. Maybe the interface is conflicted with something and it's shutting down and coming back on, shutting down and coming back on. So interface resets. These can all be clues as to what might be going on in the network. Faults and conditions that exceed a certain threshold can trigger alerts. And these alerts can be transmitted by email or text message. And these can be helpful to alert you that, hey, this condition has been met. Maybe you need to start checking on this area or this section or this device, especially if a device is shutting down or a port is shutting down. System event logs. Pretty much anything that happens on a computer can get logged, whether it's a restart, whether it's a failed login, whether it's a conflicted IP, a duplicate IP. All this stuff can be logged, and therefore we can look for that information to help with our troubleshooting. In Windows, you have an event viewer, and the event viewer allows you to see pretty much any of these types of actions on a computer. And here is some examples of event viewer on Windows 7, event viewer on Windows 10, and there's categories over here that you can look at, and in there can give you details of what particular thing happened on what particular day and time. And again, this can be some clues as to what might be a fault in the network. Syslog is basically the equivalent in your Linux and Unix world. Syslog does the same type of thing. It logs any events that are occurring on boot up, the failed IP or conflicted IP, those sorts of things. Here's an example of your syslog in an Ubuntu system, and then here is some locations of these logs in various versions of Linux. It's usually a var log type location where these are maintained, and you can look them up. System event logs, they're useful for keeping history. The information collected is not pointing to a problem, it's just giving you symptoms, kind of like in your car, the check engine light comes on. It's letting you know there's a problem, but I still need to do research as to what the problem is to maybe diagnose the problem. But these do need to be monitored. These need to be checked. And there's utilities out there that can pull this information, that I can pull it to one location, if you will. And that brings us to one of the utilities can start doing that, SNMP. We'll come back in the next podcast and tackle that one.